Welcome to MFAA On Air. Hello and welcome to MFAA On Air. I'm Ali Claver, the editor of Mortgage and Finance Brief. I'm here at ANZ headquarters and I'll be talking to Kieran Evans, ANZ's head of third-party distribution. Kieran, I know ANZ's been a real major player in that landscape since the 1800s really in Australia. Tell me what you think the importance of brand is and what it means to brokers and what they're probably missing out of the bigger picture.
Look, I'm not so sure that they're missing out on anything in the bigger picture, but brand is so much more than advertising, it's so much more than marketing. Brand really is, it's an all-encompassing philosophy of your business. So brand is around your business strategy, it's around your brand strategy, and then comes the marketing and the advertising. So brand is really what your business stands for. Brand is not optional. Everyone has a brand, whether you choose to have one or not have one, everybody has a brand in the marketplace. So probably the important thing that I would say with brand is making the decision to actually manage your brand and what does your brand stand for. That's the key element for me with branding.
Do you think there's an ideal structure for the way brokers should look at branding, and particularly when it comes to connecting products with customers?
Yeah, look, I think it's a good point that you're making, and I love the idea that you use customers there because that's something that people forget about accidentally. So, customer comes first at everything that we do, but with brand, really you start at the beginning, and that is, what's desired, what is it that your customers are looking for. You then look at matching up, and we call it the 3Ds, the triangle of the 3Ds. So it's what's desired by your customers, it's what can you deliver, and it's important you understand what your business stands for. And the third part is how does it differentiate in the marketplace. And so, when you line those up, you get a connection between the three, and it's what you can deliver in a differentiated manner for what your customers are desiring, and that becomes a powerful model.
Kieran, I'm getting a feeling that you have a magic formula for the best way to approach branding. So what's your version?
Look, I'm not sure there's ever any magic, but there's lots of different formulas, and what I will borrow on the terms of simple is Steve Jobs' comments that achieving a simple outcome is actually really complex. So, the trick with branding is not to have multiple outcomes. The trick is to have a simple, overarching strategy for your whole business, and the way you come about that is to have a look at who your customer is. What is your customer looking for, and what is your customer target market? And to match that up with what your business can deliver. What is it that your business provides that's different to other businesses? And of course, there's always personality of your business as well, and that's a little bit of an intangible, but a lot of times that's what makes you different in the marketplace, how you react and relate to your client base. This has tangible benefits though in financial outcomes. If you can match those up appropriately, you can find as brokers, you're coming across higher deal size, you're coming across far more efficient processes because you're dealing with the same types of clientele all of the time. Your marketing can be far more effective because it's attracting the same type of clientele. So there's lots of efficiencies that can come from having an effective branding strategy.
I think it's nice to end with a couple of examples of branding exercises that you think are particularly good. So do you have any for the brokers that are watching today?
Look, one that I really like to use is Apple, and my two boys who are teenagers, they talk Apple iPads and Apple iPods and iPhones and Apple TV, and that's the world as they see it. But if people can think back and remember, in 1997, Apple shares were trading at $5. Their machines were slow and irrelevant in the marketplace. Apple relaunched their entire business model around a rebranding strategy. They rebranded their DNA. They worked out what customers were looking for and what they could deliver. And from that came the inspiration to develop new products. That's where the iPad came from. So it's important to understand that the branding came first, then came the innovation, not the other way around. So a phenomenal story that was built not on the success of an iPad, but built on the success of a branding strategy. So that's a great example for me. Stay tuned for parts 2 and 3 of the ANZ series, where we'll sit down with Kieran Evans once again to talk about housing affordability, and we'll also be drilling down into startup business support. You've been watching MFAA On Air.